everyone, and welcome back to Daily Speak English. I'm Emily.
And I'm Alex. It's so good to have you here again. Today, we're going to talk about something truly exciting. English conversations while traveling.
Yes, traveling is one of the most wonderful ways to experience life. You get to meet new people, explore new places, and discover new cultures. But for English learners, it can also be a little scary, right?
Absolutely. When you're in a new country, you may need to speak English at the airport, in a hotel, or even at a cafe. And sometimes you might feel nervous, worried about pronunciation or grammar. But here's the truth. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be confident, polite, and willing to try.
Exactly. Every time you speak English, you're improving, even if you make a few mistakes. Mistakes are just signs that you're learning.
That's such an important message. So today, we're going to help our listeners feel more confident about speaking English when traveling. We'll share useful phrases, small stories, and some friendly tips that can make traveling easier and more fun.
I love that. So, Alex, let's start right at the airport. That's usually the first place where travelers need to speak English.
Yes. Okay, imagine you just arrived at the airport in another country. You may need to go through security, find your gate, or ask for directions. One of the most common and useful phrases is, "Excuse me, where is—"
For example, excuse me, where is the check-in counter? Or excuse me, where is gate 15? It's simple, polite, and clear.
And the nice thing about that phrase is you can use it anywhere, not only in airports, but also in train stations, museums, or shopping malls.
Exactly. And here's another one. Could you please help me? It's a very friendly and polite way to ask for help when you're not sure what to do.
That's right, and when someone helps you, it's always nice to say, "Thank you so much." Those small, polite words make a big difference when traveling.
Yes, and people will appreciate your kindness and effort. You don't have to speak fast or use difficult words. Simple English with a smile works best.
Totally agree. You know, Emily, I remember when I first traveled to Japan. I didn't speak Japanese at all, and my English wasn't perfect then. I wanted to find the train station, so I said to a local, "Hello, can you help me find train station?"
That's so relatable. What happened next?
He smiled, nodded, and pointed me in the right direction. We didn't share a common language, but we both understood each other because I tried to speak kindly and clearly.
That's a beautiful example. It shows that communication is more than just words. It's also about body language, tone, and attitude.
Exactly. If you speak with kindness, people feel it. And that's true anywhere in the world.
So, for our listeners, don't worry if your English isn't perfect. Focus on being polite, smiling, and speaking slowly. That's all you need to connect with others when you travel.
Great advice, Emily. Now, let's move to another common situation, checking into a hotel.
Yes, let's do a short example of what that conversation might sound like.
Okay, I'll be the guest, and you'll be the receptionist.
Perfect.
Okay. Good evening. I have a reservation under the name Alex Green.
Welcome, Mr. Green. May I see your passport, please?
Sure. Here you go.
Thank you. You're staying for 3 nights, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Here's your room key. Your room is on the 4th floor. Enjoy your stay.
Thank you very much.
That's a very natural and polite conversation you might have at a hotel.
Exactly. And if our listeners want to practice, they can pause this podcast and repeat after us. Try saying those sentences out loud.
Yes, that's a great idea. Speaking out loud helps your mouth get used to English sounds.
Right. It's like training your speaking muscles. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to speak naturally.
You know, Alex, I feel some learners feel shy speaking English in public when traveling. They're afraid people will laugh at them or not understand them.
That's true, but here's something I've learned. Most people admire you for trying. If you make mistakes, they usually smile and help you.
Exactly. No one expects you to speak perfectly. They just want to communicate.
And remember, even native speakers make mistakes. I still sometimes mix up words when I travel.
Really? Like what?
Once I was in France and I wanted to say, I'm full after a big meal, but I accidentally said something that meant, I'm pregnant. The waiter laughed kindly and explained it to me. I was so embarrassed, but I learned, and now it's a funny memory.
Oh, that's hilarious. And it's such a good reminder that mistakes are part of the journey. Sometimes they become the stories we laugh about later.
Exactly. So, to our listeners, if you make a mistake, don't feel bad. Just smile, correct yourself, and move on. Every mistake is a teacher.
Beautifully said, Alex. I think that's a great mindset for travelers and for English learners.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about ordering food. That's one of my favorite parts of traveling.
Me too. Food connects people, and it's a wonderful way to practice English in real life.
So, let's imagine we're at a restaurant in London.
Okay,
Okay. Good afternoon. Can I have the menu, please?
of course. Here you are.
Thank you. I'd like a chicken sandwich and a glass of orange juice, please.
Sure. Anything else?
No, that's all. Thank you.
You're welcome. Your food will be ready soon.
That's a simple and polite restaurant conversation.
Yes, and it's great practice for travelers. Notice how Alex used please and thank you. These small polite words are very powerful.
They really are. Being polite makes every conversation easier.
And if you don't understand what the waiter says, you can politely ask, "Sorry, could you repeat that slowly?"
That's a wonderful phrase. Or you can say, I'm sorry, what does that mean? It's okay to ask questions. That's how you learn.
Exactly. Asking questions shows curiosity and confidence.
Yes. And here's a small tip. When you're unsure of a word, use simple English to explain what you mean. For example, if you don't remember the word spoon, you can say, can I have something to eat soup with?
That's so smart. You don't have to know every word. You just need to know how to explain things in simple ways.
Exactly. Communication is about sharing meaning, not about perfect vocabulary.
You know, Alex, this reminds me of my first trip alone. I went to Singapore, and I was so nervous to speak English with strangers.
Oh, what happened?
I remember standing at a food stall, wanting to order something. I forgot how to say it politely, so I just smiled kindly and said, "One, please." The lady laughed kindly, gave me the food, and said, "Thank you for trying." That made me feel so warm inside.
That's such a sweet story. It shows how being brave, even with a few words, can make a big difference.
Yes, I think courage is more important than grammar when you're traveling.
I completely agree. Grammar can come later. What matters first is connection, connecting with people.
And that's what English really is, a bridge between people from different places.
I love that. English is a bridge. That's so true.
It connects us, and when we travel, we cross that bridge every time we speak, even if it's just saying hello, thank you, or where is the bus stop?
Yes, those small moments of communication are like magic.
You're right. Sometimes a few simple words can make your day easier and happier.
And it feels good, doesn't it? When someone understands you in another country, it gives you confidence and joy.
Oh, yes, it's one of the best feelings.
So, to our listeners, next time you travel, don't be shy. Speak, even if it's just a little. Every small sentence is a big step.
And remember, your English is good enough to start. You don't need to wait for perfect.
Yes, start with what you have today, step by step, word by word.
That's how progress happens.
Exactly. And one day, you'll look back and realize how far you've come, all because you kept trying.
I think that's a beautiful thought to pause on.
Me too. But we still have many more travel situations to explore, like taking taxis, shopping, meeting new friends, and more.
Yes, let's talk about another useful travel conversation, taking a taxi or using public transport.
Oh, yes, this one is very practical. When you get into a taxi, you can say, "Hello, I'd like to go to," and then say your destination. For example, "I'd like to go to Central Station, please."
That's simple and polite. You can also ask, how long will it take? Or how much is the fare?
Yes, those are really useful. And when you arrive, don't forget to say, "Thank you very much."
Always. Politeness travels well anywhere in the world.
That's a good line, Emily. Politeness travels well.
Maybe we should make that our travel motto.
I like that. And speaking of public transport, if you're taking a bus or train, you can ask, "Does this bus go to the city center?" Or, "Where do I buy a ticket?"
Those questions are easy to remember. And if you're unsure, don't be afraid to ask the driver or another passenger.
Most people are happy to help, especially when they see you're a traveler.
That's so true. I've met some of the kindest people just by asking for directions.
Me too. When you travel, strangers can sometimes become friends, all because you spoke up and asked a simple question.
Yes, and those small interactions make traveling so special.
They really do. But I didn't have to feel bad about eating alone. It wasn't a big deal. And that's the beauty of many travel situations. You can be yourself, and most people are understanding and kind.
That's a beautiful example, Alex. It really shows that communication is about more than just perfect grammar. It's about connection and kindness.
Exactly. When you travel, that's the real lesson. Language connects hearts before it connects words.
I love that. So, after we've learned to ask for help or check into a hotel, let's move on to another common moment meeting new people while traveling.
Yes, this one's important. You might meet other travelers in hostels, at coffee shops, or during a tour. A simple way to start a conversation is by asking questions. For example, "Where are you from?" Or, "Is this your first time here?"
Those are such easy, friendly questions, and they show interest in the other person.
Exactly. You can also share a bit about yourself, like, "I'm from Bangladesh," or, "I'm visiting for a few days." Simple introductions can lead to amazing friendships.
Yes, I once met a friend from Germany while waiting for a bus in Thailand. We just started chatting in English, and we still keep in touch years later.
That's wonderful. It's a perfect reminder that English can connect you with people all over the world, sometimes in the most unexpected places.
Yes, and for our listeners, don't worry about making conversation too long or complicated. Even a few sentences are enough to create a nice connection.
Exactly. Start small, like, "Hello, where are you going today?" Or, "The weather is beautiful, isn't it?" These little sentences are the seeds of friendship.
And they also help you practice your English in a real, natural way.
Emily, sometimes learners tell me, "Alex, I understand English, but I can't speak."
Oh, I hear that too.
And I always say, it's because you don't practice speaking enough. Listening is important, but speaking is where real learning happens.
That's so true. And traveling gives you the perfect opportunity to speak, even if you just ask for coffee or directions. You're practicing.
Yes, every little sentence counts. Each time you speak, you become a little braver.
And bravery grows into confidence.
Exactly. When I was in Spain, I spoke English with a taxi driver who barely knew the language. But he smiled, listened carefully, and we both tried to understand each other. By the end of the ride, we were laughing.
That's such a nice moment. It reminds me that communication is not about perfection, it's about understanding.
Yes, you don't need big words to be understood. You just need heart.
Beautifully said. And that's what makes English so special. It's not only a language of words, but also a language of kindness and curiosity.
Speaking of curiosity, when traveling, it's great to ask about local culture. You can ask, "What is this place famous for?" Or, "What food do you recommend?"
That's a great idea. People love to share about their culture, and it makes your trip more meaningful.
And it's also good English practice because you hear real-life words and expressions.
Yes, learning from real people is the best way to grow your language naturally.
I completely agree. And it's okay if you don't understand everything people say. You can always reply, "Sorry, can you say that again, please?" Or, "Could you speak more slowly?"
That's right. Those phrases are lifesavers for English learners. You don't need to panic, just ask politely.
Exactly. Communication is teamwork. You and the other person are working together to understand each other.
That's such a good point.
And remember, tone matters too. If you speak with a kind, friendly tone, even simple English sounds wonderful.
Yes, tone and smile. Those are your best tools when you travel.
I couldn't agree more.
Now, let's talk about another situation, shopping while traveling. That's where you can use some really useful English phrases.
Oh, yes. Like, how much is this? Or, can I try it on? If you're buying clothes.
Exactly. Or if you want to ask for a different size, you can say, "Do you have this in a medium?"
And when you buy something, always say, "Thank you," or "Have a nice day."
Those small words make people feel respected.
They really do. And here's a travel tip for our listeners. When you speak English in shops or cafes, try to listen carefully to how locals reply. That's how you can pick up natural expressions.
Oh, that's such a smart way to learn. You can even write down new phrases later in a small notebook.
Yes, that's what I do when I travel. I call it my travel English diary.
That sounds lovely.
I write down new words I hear during the day, like receipt, change, bus stop, platform. Then at night, I review them before bed.
That's such a good habit. It helps you remember vocabulary through real experiences, not just from books.
Exactly, and it makes learning English part of your travel story.
You know, Alex, I think traveling teaches you not just language, but also courage and empathy.
I agree completely. When you travel, you learn to understand people, even if you don't speak the same language perfectly.
Yes, it opens your heart.
And English becomes the key that opens many doors to people, places, and possibilities.
That's so true. And I think that's why we love doing this podcast, to remind our listeners that English is not just a subject, it's a bridge to the world.
Beautifully said, Emily.
Thank you, Alex.
Before we end today's episode, let's leave our listeners with a few powerful reminders for traveling in English.
Great idea.
Number 1, be kind and patient. Communication takes time, and that's okay.
Number 2, use simple English. Simple is clear, and clear is beautiful.
Number 3, smile often. A smile is the universal language everyone understands.
Number 4, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Every mistake is proof that you are trying, and every try makes you better.
And finally, number 5, enjoy the journey. Learning English and traveling are both adventures.
That's such a lovely list, Alex.
Thank you. And to all our listeners, we want you to remember, your English doesn't have to be perfect to be powerful.
Yes, you already have everything you need inside you: curiosity, courage, and a kind heart. That's what really matters.
When you travel, speak with confidence. Even if you only know a few words, use them proudly.
Because every word you speak builds your bridge to the world.
Exactly.
So, dear listeners, thank you for spending this time with us today. We hope you feel inspired to speak English wherever you go.
Yes, and if you enjoyed this episode, please like this video, subscribe to Daily Speak English, and share it with your friends.
And remember, keep practicing every day. Speak to yourself, to others, or even to the mirror. Every word counts.
You're doing amazing, truly.
We're so proud of you.
Until next time, safe travels, happy learning, and never stop speaking English.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.